Hey guys, welcome back to the Shipmate YouTube channel. This week we're going to be telling you all about how to measure a box. So guys, this week I wanted to take some time and show you guys how to measure a box because there's a couple nuances to this that, go over some people's heads, and it's important to make sure that everybody understands how to measure a box. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, boxes are usually measured by 3 dimensions. You have what's known as the length, which is usually the largest face side, the width, which is, the shorter face side, and then the height, which is the vertical distance. So, with these 3 dimensions, to measure them, you're going to have what's known as an inside dimension and an outside dimension. When you're ordering a box online, they're going to list the inside dimensions. So if you order an 8x8 box, which is what this is, the interior dimensions of the box will measure 8x8, meaning you can put an item up to that size within the box. An important thing to keep in mind is that box manufacturers manufacture usually down to a tolerance of 1/8 inch. This means the box may be 1/8 smaller or bigger than what you expect because, it's cardboard and glue. It's not always perfect. So I'm going to get my tape measure here. And when I measure, I like to read to the nearest 1/8 inch. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the length, which is the longest face side. So in this example here, these are both the same length, but we're going to measure this one as, the width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure all 3 dimensions now. We're going to start with the interior dimensions. So I'm going to take my tape measure, I'm going to push it up against the side of the box and extend the tape so I can get the full length. If you notice here, it's 8 1/8 inch on this side, which is the length, and it is exactly 8 this way, which is the width. The depth of the box, which is also known as the height, is also 8 inches. So that's how you measure the interior dimensions of the box. To measure the exterior dimensions of the box, that would be once you have this taped up, right? So I got my completed box here. Imagine she's all taped up. What I can do is I can get my length by measuring the outside of the box, by taking your tape measure, hooking it on the side, and extending it straight across. If you notice, the outside dimensions of this box, the exterior dimensions, are greater than 8 inches. They are actually closer to 8 1/4. If I do the same thing for the width, we'll find that it's about 8 1/16, so we'll just call that 8, right? And then if I do the height, once the box is, taped shut, I can hook it on the bottom, bring it up, and we got about 8 1/4 again. So I would say the exterior dimensions of this box are 8, 8 1/4, 8 1/4. So you can see how there's some slight variation between the interior dimensions and the exterior dimensions. So the important thing is once you have the exterior dimensions, your length, your width, your height, you can find out how many cubic inches this box is by multiplying the length, the width, and the height together. So that'll give you, how many cubic inches this is. So 8 times 8 times 8 is 512 cubic inches. And that's what this box is, right? And once I know that, I'm able to calculate dimensional weight, which you can do by looking up the dim factor online. It varies based on carrier. We did a whole video on dim factor a while back, and you can check that out. So once you know that, there's a lot you can do with the length, the width, and the height, because obviously you're going to need to know those when you go to buy your postage. But another really important thing is weight. So I wanted to include this briefly here because there's a couple tricks when weighing a box that are really important. The first is you need to be on a level, solid surface. You don't want any soft surface, anything where there's a bit of give, and you want to make sure it's as level as possible. That's how you're going to get the most accurate weight. The other thing is there's a button on the scale that will either say tare or 0. This button you're going to want to hit before you weigh anything to make sure that the scale is starting at a weight of 0. This way you're not adding extra weight that isn't there or underweighing a package because, you know, the scale is reading negative or positive weight from the start. So what you want to do is once you have this zeroed, it's okay to set the box on the scale. What I just did here is wrong. Why? Because the box is touching something else, and that can affect the weight. So you want to make sure that the box, when it's on the scale, is touching nothing else. It's not rubbing up against something else. It's not propped up against something else. And that full downward pressure of the box is on that scale. Sometimes you're going to need a larger scale than the one I got here, just this like small postal scale. Because, you know, you don't want the box to hang down, droop over the sides, and touch the table. This will give you an accurate weight of what the box weighs. This is the most accurate weight, and when you enter it, you can enter it 2 ways. You can either enter it pounds and ounces, or you can enter it as pounds with a decimal point. So guys, I hope you learned something about how to measure a box. It's really simple, but it's important to understand the difference between interior and exterior dimensions, learning how to get cubic inches, and also how to properly operate a scale. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you could help us out, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and we need your help to do it. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.